carried by road furnitures. Modulamin Sise, Grts News.
Well, you can also follow the day's stories and other Grts programs live on our website at www.grts.gm. There you can also monitor Grts Radio Live. From there we take our first break. We'll be right back.
It is a story of a land, of a people, where communication has been our song, our drumbeat. We sing with hearts full of joy. We dream of a better future, one that is upon us now. This is who we are. We are close to the heart of the world. We are as old as time. The soul of man began with us. We are Africa.
Welcome back. The story of one pro-Gaddafi fighter has gained recognition on international newsstands. The man who resides in Niger said he fought for Colonel Gaddafi for free on the front line in Misrata. CNN's Nick Robertson explains the mercenary tale of Mohamed Waknihi.
Dusk in a remote, dusty African town on the edge of the Sahara. The man I've been waiting to meet all day is about to show up. A mercenary, just back from fighting for Gaddafi. He spent time on the front lines in Misrata, where Gaddafi's forces were accused of killing civilians.
We were given the order to cleanse the city street by street, road by road. So we were just following the streets. So if someone fires at us, we just fire back. And if they hide behind a civilian, how can you say he's a civilian?
Mohamed Wanigi, a 33-year-old from Niger, tells me he drove over the border to Libya in March, direct to an army base.
I had all the weapons I needed, like a fantasy.
You had AK-47, RPG.
Everyone had a Kalashnikov. Some have rocket-propelled grenades. Others have portable, recoilless rockets.
The town where we meet, where he lives, Agadez, is poor, dirt poor. Unemployment beyond calculation. Aspirations stunted. That's the road to Libya. Several days' drive along dirt tracks, over mountains and across deserts just to get to the border. Agadez itself is 950 kilometers, 600 miles, 12 hours drive along sometimes tortuous roads from the capital. It is on the fringes of government control, and the government admits there is little it can do to stop young men from here joining Gaddafi's forces. Wanigi tells me he signed up as an unpaid volunteer as a gesture of thanks to Gaddafi.
He did for us what our leaders didn't do. Built us a hospital, paved our roads, gave us streetlights. What are we supposed to do? Sit with our arms folded while he's having problems?
He is no amateur fighter, a Tuareg, a minority with a history of rebellion here. Wanigi fought in one of those revolts against Niger's government, one widely rumoured to be supported by Gaddafi.
For me, he's not losing the war. He just left Tripoli, but it's not his hometown. Maybe if the rebels got Sirte and Ben Walid, then yes, at that moment we could say the war is over.
But he doesn't think that's about to happen anytime soon. And even if it does, says the fighting will go on.
Even if they get Gaddafi, it won't be over, because Libya will become like Somalia or Iraq. There are weapons everywhere. Everyone has a gun.
He left as rebels flooded into Tripoli, but tells me he and his friends are considering going back to fight. Nick Robertson, CNN, Agadez, Niger.
Over now to the contentious issue of statehood for Palestine. There have been many steps forward in the past few decades, but many steps back as well. The ongoing UN summit, the question of Palestinian sovereignty is generating a heated debate amongst delegates. CNN's Wolf Blister takes a look at America's role in the struggle for peace in the Middle East.
President Bill Clinton brings Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin and Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat to the south lawn of the White House for the signing ceremony of the Oslo Accords. There was a dramatic handshake. At the time, nearly everyone was optimistic that it wouldn't take all that long to resolve the key issues in the Israeli-Palestinian peace process, including refugees, settlements, Jerusalem, and borders. That optimism was misplaced. November 4th, 1995, Rabin is assassinated by a Jewish extremist.
I'm very sad and very shocked for this awful and terrible crime.
Early 1996, Israel is struck by a series of Palestinian terror attacks and suicide bombings, and by May, Israelis elect a hardliner as their new prime minister, Benjamin Netanyahu. October 23rd, 1998, President Clinton tries again. He invites Netanyahu and Arafat to the Wye River Plantation in Maryland. It winds up with another ceremony at the White House, but progress is limited.
There can be no success without principled compromise. The road to peace, as always, is a two-way street.
Just as he's wrapping up 8 years in the White House, Bill Clinton gives it one more try, this time engaging Arafat and then Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak at Camp David outside Washington. Barak was willing to give up all of Gaza and most of the West Bank. That territory would then become the new Palestinian state. But as Clinton later told me in an interview, Arafat rejected that proposal, insisting on a complete withdrawal. September 2000, the second Palestinian Intifada begins. Then all the key players start changing. In early 2001, George W. Bush becomes president of the United States, and Ariel Sharon is elected prime minister of Israel. In 2003, the roadmap to peace is proposed by the Mideast Quartet, composed of the United States, the United Nations, Russia, and the European Union. November 2004, Arafat dies, and Mahmoud Abbas, also known as Abu Mazen, becomes chairman of the PLO. 2005, Sharon unilaterally expels Jewish settlers and withdraws Israeli security forces from Gaza.
The world is awaiting the Palestinian response, a hand held out in peace or fire. We will respond to an outstretched hand with the olive branch. However, we will respond to terrorism forcefully.
In 2006, Hamas, which the U.S. and the Europeans consider a terrorist group, wins Palestinian elections and takes over the Gaza Strip. Abbas and the Palestinian Authority, which control the West Bank, won't allow Hamas to get involved in any peacemaking efforts or decisions. November 2008, America elects a new president who promises change.
To those who seek peace and security, we support you.
June 2009, Barack Obama pushes his vision for a more democratic Middle East right in the heart of Egypt.
I do have an unyielding belief that all people yearn for certain things. The ability to speak your mind and have a say in how you are governed.
In 2011, the Arab Spring begins transforming the Middle East. May 2011, President Obama publicly goes further than any American president before him with this pronouncement.
We believe the borders of Israel and Palestine should be based on the 1967 lines with mutually agreed swaps.
Prime Minister Netanyahu calls the 1967 borders indefensible, and relations between the two allies are tested. Wolf Blitzer, CNN, Washington.
From there, we take our second break. The news continues in a moment.
Yalla dik na gis nga Diamond Properties ñoo indi xéewal yot nañ la bayil bu ma la waxe nga may tudde nit ay nit dina la ray de bi dina la ray xaral ma wax la wa baax gis nga ñi ma la tuddal ni fañ génné raful pour joxe ketab lëmm ket goo xam ne dafa am 3 master bedroom amat kër ga fan la nekk mu nga Diamond Estate nekk all yundum déedéet kay ñaareeli pire bi xam nga lan la déedéet oto bu ñoo wax série Jeep 4x4 bu bees tak yaa koy daaji si mbuus ñetteeli price gi waaw gars yi teg nañ juróomi ticket af Angleterre yoo xam ne boo amut visa wala bëgguloo dem Angleterre ñu yot la xaalis gi ñeneenteeli price ñaari junne juróomi téeméer af Angale ci ñaari téeméeri nit ñu gagné juróomeeli price gi junneb saakoob maale ñu jox ko junneb nit ku ne benn saakoob maalo génneel téeméer af Angale bi jënd ticket gi te xam nga lu ci gën a neexam boo jëndee ticket gi waaw ba pare waaw